Hello and welcome again to an episode of Creature Feature. I'm your host, Emily Welker. This is our For Love of Dog volunteer, Ashley Setter. And Ashley is here to introduce us to a very special For Love of Dog Rescue. You can see her right there playing with her buddy. We're talking about the dog in the red flowered collar, and while at first glance she's going to look to most people exactly like the other dog, that's Gilda, the dog we're talking about is Versace, and she has some really pretty intense special needs based on the situation she was removed from. Ashley, tell me a little bit about some of her needs.
Yeah, we pulled her from the Moorhead Pound, and prior to that she was confiscated from her owner because there were allegations of neglect and abuse. And she had these issues when she first went to the Moorhead Pound, and she actually sat there for 60 days while the legalities were worked out.
Oh, wow.
And then we accepted her into our rescue. And then we actually got a grant to bring her down to the U of M because the vets around here, they only had so much to go off of. They weren't sure. Obviously it was clear that she had some kind of head trauma, and that she had some brain damage, and that's why she was acting the way she was. So we got a grant to go down to the U of M, and they did some pretty thorough testing on her. She had an MRI, and she had spinal tap just to clear up, or to rule out if it was like an infection, like distemper, rabies, something like that.
Right, some sort of organic disease.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, and that came back clear. She didn't have any of that. So what they found was on the MRI was that she had water on the brain, which is, the medical term is hydrocephalus. And that also the folds of her brain have some more spacing in it than what normal dogs have. So that's kind of what's causing her central nervous system to just be totally overloaded. And so the effects of it are she basically can not only go in right circles, but that's how she chooses to move, is in right hand circles. When she's pretty amped up, they're tighter circles, but we're really working on making sure she can go to the left, doing left hand circles, and breaking it so it doesn't become a behavioral issue, because the U of M was pretty certain that, with breaking the pattern, breaking the behavioral part, that she could reach, I think what they said was like 70% of what a normal functioning dog would be.
Okay.
So then right now we're working on potty training. That's probably the biggest hurdle right now. It's more so we're being potty trained, making sure we can get her out. But otherwise, she's awesome in a kennel, doesn't bark, she doesn't mess in her kennel, so. Yeah.
One of the things that you had said and Nicole had echoed was that, a person put this dog in this position. They essentially took away a normal life from her, and we're trying to get her a normal life back. Right.
Yes. The U of M, they had before they got any of the test results back, they had said that they think it would either be congenital, malnutrition, or some kind of severe head trauma. And knowing her past, they think it's maybe a combination of the malnutrition. She was really skinny when she was brought to the pound, and then obviously some head trauma. So, we're working through it. We're hoping that she'll turn a corner. We've been doing a rotation for 2 months between the fosters, and in that 2 months we've seen leaps and bounds, significant difference from the way she was when she first came into rescue to now. She's doing so much better, especially with her circles and being able to calm herself down. She's doing really good. So
it's encouraging to see that you guys have seen improvement in her behavior.
Yep.
You said also that it's a lot like dealing with a puppy.
She, because she is kind of a big puppy, but she is bigger than just a small little puppy. We're probably thinking that it's better that she goes to a home with no small kids, because she does bounce around and she can get a little mouthy, and so even if kids are super respectful, it's more so her than kids. So.
Right. And you said that obviously she's pretty good with other dogs, but it's not absolutely necessary to have her. You said if you get tired and you need a break, you can put her in the kennel.
Right, and that's what we've been doing. All of her fosters right now, we all have our own dogs and sometimes another foster. But when she gets amped up, or if it's just getting to be too much for her or the other dogs, we put her in her kennel, and that seems to work to settle her down. Take her from level 10 to more down to like a level 3.
Right.
And she is really good in a kennel. She doesn't bark. She hasn't made any messes. So it's always a plus. I mean, that part is good because, her kennel training work, which is usually the hardest part, is pretty solid.
Right. So there's really no way of telling how much, if any, more recovery she's going to be able to do.
Yeah. And, the U of M, the vets down there suggested that we give her at least 4 months. It's only been 2, so we still have another 2 months to go. And, now, since we have seen some progress, And a lot since the last time. We're thinking, kind of a halfway point. This is a good time to start getting her out there, seeing if we can get anybody who would be interested in her, because we do think that she will continue to get better. I mean, she'll never be like Gilda or any normal dog, but she's very sweet. She's very cuddly. She loves other dogs. I mean, she hasn't met a dog that she doesn't like, and so.
Right. So if you're looking for a project, somebody who you can spend a little extra time with, maybe do some learning about dogs and training yourself, it sounds like this little girl would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, she's a lot of work, and you need to put a lot of time into it, but it's worth it. I mean, she's very sweet, she's very loving, and she returns it. She knows that we're trying to help her. So.
And there is something really rewarding about taking a rescued dog in, especially a dog that has behavioral issues because they've been damaged by people, and just watching them kind of blossom and come back to life. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Creature Feature. Once again, I'm your host, Emily Welker. If this is not the right dog for you, go ahead and check out all the wonderful profiles of other dogs who need forever homes on forloveofdog.org. Thanks again.